What's going on, guys? No Guides here. Welcome back to another video and tutorial. In today's video I'm going to explain to you how the 5-3-2 breaks down any defense, any player, especially your players parking the bus. It basically is in a sense broken because the way the formation works is that your fullbacks unmarked, kind of like wingers when you go forward, and because there's no one marking them, you're basically exploiting your opponent. So I'm going to give you some gameplay examples and show you some examples of how it all works and some annotations to kind of give you a better insight. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, now first I wanted to show you an example. The big question people asked me was, what if your opponent's like, you're not on the counter attack, your opponent is parking the bus. Now here you can see my opponent is playing a very standard 5-4-1. As you can see, he's got his, or should I say 4-4-1. He's kind of got his 4 midfielders and his 2 strikers. Now this could be, for example, 4-2-3-1 second variation on defensive. So how does this formation be broken? Simply by the 5-3-2. Well, see, the best way I can help depict this is that if I use, for example, this kind of diagram, right, and I want you to focus on the left back and the right back. So what happens is the left back and the right back, they overlap. Now the best way I can explain how this works is just imagine your left back and right backs, just imagine it like linesmen. They're basically in their own lane. The reason why is if you have a 5 defender formation and you don't have any wingers, the players are basically fixated in their own lane. They're kind of separate from the entire team. So what happens is your left centre back and your right centre back, they kind of split up wide, and then this is how you create this situation where, as you can see, my fullbacks in this instance, as you can see, they're basically unmarked. Now the best way I can explain this is I kind of took influence from the best team ever, Pep Guardiola's 011 team. The best way I can explain this is imagine this is David Villa and imagine this is Pedro in real life. They're being wide as possible, and it kind of creates more space in the middle. So what happens is that your 2 strikers then they then occupy the centre backs, and because your right centre mid's unbalanced, as I explained, you basically create a situation where there's more players than there is for defenders, if that makes sense. So here, for example, you have the extra player. So in a sense, it's always going to be one player unmarked. So we're going to go back to this footage over here. We're just going to let it play for a second. So as you can see, we're going to let it play. As you can see, the right centre mid runs forward. Now, as you can see, I got my striking line. As you can see, my fullbacks are completely unmarked. That means that I can distribute the ball to them at any time. You see that? You see how they're basically unmarked? You see the opponent's defenders, they have to be narrow. You see, if they're basically spread out, what happens is these 2 centre backs are left in the middle. Then this player has to go to here, and this player has to go to here. It basically makes their team isolated. Here's a better example. So here, as you can see, in this clip from the last video that I uploaded, my opponent's parking the bus, and as you can see, my left back is advanced forward on the left-hand side. But as you can see, his right back is getting pushed away to mark my right back. So what's happening is there's becoming a greater gap between his centre back and his right back, which in turn makes more space in the middle. You see, because of that, it created more space in the middle of the pitch for my late minute runner, and thus he was completely clean, free to score. So you see, the point I'm trying to say to you, we're going back to this example, is there's only going to be 2 outcomes. Either A is that your opponent's going to basically mark the wide players and create more space in the middle for your players to exploit, or B, they're going to be very narrow, be very contract, and then you're going to have these wide players completely free, breaking the lines. I'm just going to play this remaining clip. As you can see, we're going to play it. As you can see, my fullback then gets the ball. He's completely unmarked. My opponent has to commit towards me. He can't stand off. And as you can see, because I've got too many players, I basically got superiority in midfield. And a simple 1-2, or I suppose you can say I found the run and I basically cleaned through. And I could have finished here, but unfortunately, the goalkeeper saved it. Now, going on to this point on defending. Now, people say this formation causes me to lose. Well, the best way I can say this as nicely as possible, you need to learn to defend first. If you're in this situation, the last thing you want to do is run to your opponent. What you want to do is you want to run backwards. So what you want to do is you want to wait for your left back and wait for your right back to kind of solidify your back, to create a back 5 again. So you want to basically use your centre mid and run back. You see, that's the key point, is run back with your centre mid. Do not advance to your opponent. So here we have another example. As you can see, my opponent is advanced back into his own half, and I basically taking a seat back, and I'm basically playing a defensive position. Now, as you can see, I have the ball. There's nothing really out of contention over here, but as you can see, my left back and my right back are really high up the pitch. All I do is a simple 1-2. Now you see my opponent's left in a situation. Again, it's the 5 midfielders. This is Kent. Kent is my right centre mid, so he's the right centre mid that's running forward. So that's the key thing is to understand. This is Kent. He's the right centre mid that's running forward from deep, and he's the one that's creating the space. Remember how in instructions, one of them is unbalanced? So this is that player. Now he's advanced forward, and what that means is that my opponent's kind of gone back into the situation where, what does he do? If he doesn't push Kent, then Kent is clean through. But if I continue to play this clip, as you can see, now this is where the wide fullbacks come in completely unmarked. Now even if he didn't commit in this instance, even if he didn't commit, my left back and a right back are still going to be clean through. So when you get into this situation, you can play a simple L1 chip through ball on either side, or a simple through ball, and that's the easiest way you can get in behind. That's the key thing. Always look for the fullbacks. Okay, so here we have another situation. As you can see, my opponent's parking the bus. He's sitting very deep in his half. This is a question you guys had asked a lot. As you can see, his left back and right back are on comeback on offense. So they're basically helping out the back four, as you can see. But as you can see, it still brings the issue where there's too many players. And because my fullbacks are so wide, my opponent can't do anything about it. Now, because the AI basically marks these players, if he does mark any of these players, he's going to create a massive gap, and then his centre back is going to have to drift to cover that gap, and thus creating more space in the middle. So we're going to go back to the example again. So here, Makalele is the ball in midfield. This is my left centre mid. This is my left centre mid. My centre mid are on stay back while attacking. Remember, I talked about my right centre mid being on balance. That's my right centre mid. As you can see, my left back and right back advance very far forward, and we're going to play this situation again. Now this is where my opponent's parking the bus. Now see here, the key thing is I could have made this pass if I wanted, but just to show you how OP it is, I deliberately go back here. Now here, the same situation again. Now as you can see, because my two strikers, basically the way they're positioned, they basically contract the two centre backs. Now, although that's my strike, that's the whole idea between the right centre mid. Because the right centre mid runs from deep, not only is he a last minute option, he also confuses the AI defence, because a last minute runner creates more space in the middle of the pitch, if that makes sense. It's a bit complicated to explain, but just understand the two strikers and the right centre mid are just there to basically create gaps. So we're going to play this clip again. As you can see, it's 5 against 4, as you can see still. Now here, I still got Matuidi and Makalele, two left centre mid, left centre mid and centre mid, and right centre mid is there. As you can see in this instance, I have the ball, the right centre mid. Now you see, once I've broken a situation down, he's got basically a back 6. He's kind of taken the Jose Mourinho approach, a very defensive, park the bus approach that I don't condone, but a very effective approach nonetheless. Now as you can see, even in this situation, more space is kind of created, because as you can see in this situation, what you can see you can see my body just over there off screen. My right back is over, my right back is advanced forward and is over there. And what that's done is that's basically repositioned his back line. So especially when his player advanced forward, he's created this massive gap. Now these gaps you're going to have to find for yourself. But once you see these gaps, the key thing is you want to exploit these gaps. Once you find a situation like this, it's up to you to exploit it. So the key thing is be patient. Do not be aggressive. Be very patient. The chances will come. So here we have a defensive example. We lost possession of the ball. So here, for example, we lost possession of the ball. The attack didn't materialize. This happens sometimes. Unfortunately, the ball got caught against my feet. And as you can see, my players are forward. Now, the key thing is when you're defending is to run backwards. Now, just remember that your back 3 is still going to be intact. Your back 3 is still going to be intact. But you're missing your left back and your right back. These guys have to then run back. So you need to give them time. The best way you can do that is you have your two centre mids on stay back while attacking. The key thing is you want to run back with either of these guys. Just run back. Do not advance to your opponent. It makes no sense to advance to your opponent. The best thing you can do is run back. So as you can see here, I choose my centre mid. I run back. I run back. I run back. I run back. See that? Now my back five line is in shape. Now I can start defending normally. You see that? It's all about running back. You need to be slow, be methodical. You can be very fast as well, but you need to be, accurate in what you do. If, for example, you're running out with your centre back, I mean, I'm sorry, no disrespect to you, but you're gonna get what's coming to you. You're gonna concede a goal. So the key thing is keep your back shape in line. Use your centre mids to run back and defend. So here we have a goal kick example. Now let's say, for example, you have the ball from a goal kick. The key thing is all you want to do is, no matter who has the ball, let's say your centre mid has the ball, you just want to wait for your fullbacks to go wide. That's the most important thing. Once your fullback goes wide, then you can exploit the gaps and distribute the ball to them, or then you can play the ball down the middle. Wait for your fullbacks to advance forwards. Here you can see an example. As you said, it's a simple pass. I'll wait for my fullbacks. Just concentrate now on my fullbacks. See how I wait for them? I wait for them to go forward. You see, if I wanted to, I could do a through ball down here, but you see, I'd be patient. See, the key thing is you want to be patient. So as you can see, I go back to my centre back. I play a very slow game. Now, once my fullbacks, as you can see, I've gone high up the pitch. Now I'm in a situation where I've outnumbered him. See that? Now, even though his back falls in shape, he's basically, even though he's charging at me with his winger, because the way the formation is set is breaking gaps. As you can see, there's a gap on the outside and there's also a gap on the far side. So as you can see, a simple through ball. He's not using cop cam angle, he gets obliterated. And from there, just a simple fake shot into the box and a simple sweat. The key thing is you just want to be patient. So when you get into this situation, remember, even if he doesn't run at me, let's say he doesn't charge at me, remember, this person's still going to be clean free. You see what I'm saying? The way the formation is laid out is these guys are always going to be free. So always be patient. When you have the ball, wait for your fullbacks to overlap and then decide what you want to do. So here's a situation where my opponent's being a bit overly aggressive. Now again, the main thing I want you to focus on is my left back and my right back. As you can see, they're pushed high up the pitch. Now as you can see, just by a simple pass upwards, even if he tried to mark that run, he couldn't. You see what I'm trying to say? The key thing is you just want to be patient. Once you get in a situation, be patient. The best way of scoring, I would say this is probably the best thing to do with this formation. If you really want to score, just get the ball in the middle of the pitch, switch it, do a driven pass to one of your fullbacks, let them run down the line completely unmarked, do a fake shot stop and do a lofted pass back into the box, and you're basically scored. It's basically GG. A very easy and effective way of scoring. Just one final thing, if you do find this formation too defensive, you can change both, or all three should I say, your left centre mid, right centre mid and your centre mid on stay back while attacking. So by default it's on balanced, but if you do find that it's too attacking, just put them all on stay back while attacking. If you are struggling down the wings, what you can do is you can put the left and the right centre mid on cover wing, so that way I suppose you can say when your left back and right back, when they fly forward, I suppose you can say the right centre mid, left centre mid will cover for them. But that's only if you're getting really killed down the wings. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm probably going to release more videos like this on my second channel. I don't know if I should release on my main channel. Just let me know as usual. We much appreciate it in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful and happy new year. Take it easy and catch you guys later.